what's going on, y'all? We're gonna get straight into the video. Now, there are some people who were upset that Kirk Franklin did not win the Gospel Music Awards at the BET Awards for whatever reason. And one person in particular is Deitrick. So I want to hear what he has to say, and then I'm going to give you guys my takeaway on it, because I do not think it's that deep because of where the actual situation is taking place and what's actually happening. I don't think people are asking the right questions. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Music industry needs an overhaul, period. After last night's show, it's an indicator that we just need a complete reset. Like what are we doing? Are we allowing this to happen over and over again and wonder why the gospel music industry is
allowing
dying?
What to happen?
Come on, man. In order to have something different, you have to do something different. So we need people in the room that know gospel music, that's in the trenches of gospel music, that's advocating for the genre as a whole and not one particular person.
We don't need people in that room. I'm going to say it again. We do not need believers of the way, believers of the Most High, believers of God to be in that room. Why are we in that room? Why are we in the room full of secular people, secular beings who want to be every way but God's way? Why are we in that room?
It's already a small genre. So it's hard for us to watch the Dr. Bobby Jones Gospel Award being given to somebody that's not in our space.
It's not hard. It's not hard. Guess what? Why? This is why it's not hard. Because of the space that it's in. Like, that's what I'm saying. People are not asking the right questions. Because of the space that it's in, it's not hard watching her get this award. She made a gospel song. She featured gospel artists on it. So what is the issue?
No disrespect to the artist, but that's not the space she's in. And so it makes it discouraging, disappointing, and it takes the wind out of all of it. And we wonder why gospel music is dying. It's because we're doing things like that. Well, on top of that is, we're tired. Nobody will say this, but I will. Of seeing the same people being celebrated year after year.
You know why?
Like there is nobody else.
You know why? Because he's the only person that desires to, continues to want to go into that territory. He desires to be in that arena for some reason. He desires to be in that arena with those type of people. This is why we keep seeing the same people celebrated over and over again, because he desires to be there. So he's going to make face every single time.
In gospel music. Like no one else is working. You cannot just give it to one person as if they're the ones that's keeping it going. No. We're done with that. Last night was a great win for the ratings for BET. I give certain people awards for ratings, but it was not a win for the gospel music industry. We got to do better. So I propose let's start something where we can come together and have someone advocating for the genre that have no other motive and agenda in the room but to elevate the gospel music genre as a whole. That's what I feel.
So let's look at the children of Israel, right? What was their issue? Their issue was, although they knew that they were chosen by the Most High, they constantly wanted to fit in with every other group of people. They constantly wanted to fit in everywhere else but where the Most High placed them. This is the issue with the gospel music industry and believers as a whole. Although we know that we are supposed to be set apart, not conform to the world, we continually want to fit in with the world. So when we see people like Kirk Franklin constantly in the forefront of the gospel music industry, but in secular places, it's because he still is trying to conform to the world. Now, first of all, the Bobby Jones Gospel Award has always been on BET. It's always been there. Has it always been given out at secular award shows? I actually don't know. I have no clue. I have not watched the BET Awards since Chris Brown did the tribute to Michael Jackson. That's how long it has been. But the reason why you keep seeing Kirk Franklin they're at the forefront of the BET Awards, the forefront of making music with all these secular artists and stuff like that, it's because he's still trying to straddle the fence. And you have to figure out, do you want to straddle the fence as well? In my opinion, I don't think anyone should have been enraged to see that Glorilla received the Gospel Music Awards at a secular show, at a secular arena. I don't think anyone should have been enraged. And at the end of the day, this kind of exposes the gospel music industry as well. It kind of just takes the word gospel out in front of it, and you kind of just have industry left. And that means whatever sells, whatever makes the money, whatever keeps multiplying the dollars, this is what we're going to promote. Furthermore, ain't nobody asking Kirk Franklin, why is he there? Nobody's asking that question. Nobody's asking him, why are you continuously at the forefront of everything secular when you say you follow the Most High God? I honestly think there are certain times where God calls us into a place where we don't want to go. We're fearful because of all the wickedness, all the things that could happen to us. And he tells us, hey, go anyhow. You're going to be protected. My name's going to get the glory from this, right? And then I also think that there are times where we desire to be in a place so much so that we bypass anything that God has ever told us. And then we come into this place and we expect things to change for us just because we're supposed to be the light in the dark place. And sometimes it doesn't go like that, especially when we weren't even called there. And then we also have to ask ourselves, why as believers are we continually tuning into BET and watching these secular performances and then getting enraged that a secular platform is doing very secular things and doing everything that we think is wrong and making it seem like it's right? We have to ask ourselves that as believers as well. I don't care if it's a tradition. I don't care if you've been watching it for years. Why are we still tuning into the things that are harming us and then getting outraged when people who are in wickedness, people who are in unrighteousness do wicked and unrighteous things? Like, why is that something that is surprising to us? Yes, I think the gospel music industry might need to do a redo. It may need to do a redo because it's looking more so like industry and not really about gospel, not really about spreading the news of the way. That it's looking like it's more industry now. Aja Walsh just left the gospel music industry too. There's something going on there that nobody's talking about. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I just don't think it is that big of a deal because once again, you are in a secular arena that you weren't called to, that you weren't told to come to, and you're trying to change the whole situation of it to make it be in favor for you. I don't know.